really at the moment that a lot of us have been waiting for all day. We have one of the greatest voices ever that will be gracing the stage here in a minute. His voice has impacted the lives of tens of millions of people from all around the world. His voice has encouraged, his voice has inspired. His voice was one of those voices that kept me going 15 years ago when I first got involved in this industry of network marketing. And we're privileged to have him actually speak as our keynote speaker at this event at IML Unleashed. How many of you are ready to unleash with the one and only, one of the greatest voices of our generation, a gentleman that's impacted the lives of many, 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 many people from all around the world. A lot of the success that you watch people have from all around the world wouldn't be if it wasn't for his voice. We want everybody standing up right now, and we want you to celebrate the life, the impact that this gentleman has had on countless amount of people from all around the world. IML, can we celebrate the one and only Les Brown? Bring the music up, bring the music up. I'm 75, I gotta slow down. You may be seated. Thank you, and I love you.
I was thinking like
Let's give David a round of applause. And Stephen. And Dr. Spiller, give him a tremendous round of applause. Give them all a tremendous round of applause. Dr. Spiller's a bad dude. Better watch your knees in the parking lot. And he was awesome. I enjoyed him so much. And I'm so glad to be here with you to share a few thoughts. I want to ask you to celebrate yourself by applauding your commitment to your dream and your future. Give yourself a round of applause. And I'd like for you to give a round of applause to the visionaries and the dream makers, Christopher and Isis. Give them a tremendous round of applause. Bring the energy like that. Yes. I'm excited about sharing some thoughts with you because everything that exists at one time was a dream. Everything that exists. And right now, we're standing in the dream of Christopher and Isis, two individuals who learned some techniques and strategies and how everyday people, using the technology and the ideas and the training that they provide, have access to the American dream, have access to how they can begin to control their own personal economy. And we're seated in their dream. Let's give them this round of applause. Come on, bring the energy level up. Bring it up. So I want you to think about your dream. What's your dream? I stand on this stage because of two women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I feel like Abraham Lincoln who said, all that I am and all that I will hope to be, I owe to my mother. How many of you have a story? Raise your hands, please. Your story has value. People will do business with you if they get to know what your story is. Because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And your ability to communicate your story succinctly, your ability to give them some insight to who you are and what drives you and what motivates you and what your values are is very important. Because there's so many companies out here that don't have the integrity, that don't have the leadership, and that don't have your best interest in heart. That's why I'm standing on this stage, because of Isis and Christopher, because they have your best interest at heart. Give them another round of applause. When I think about my life, and many of you are familiar with my story, born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. Liberty City in the house. Born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother, Wesley. We were 6 weeks of age. We were taken in as foster kids. And then we were adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. Mama, she only had a 3rd grade education. She never had any children, but she always wanted to have children. She took us in, and she took in 5 other children. And I admired her. Isn't she beautiful, though? Isn't she beautiful? She's beautiful, yes. As Wesley and I, my twin brother, which one am I? The cute one, you're right, on the left, all right? So Mama only had a 3rd grade education. I want you to think about your dream. She worked for wealthy families on Miami Beach. She cooked for them. And we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. They would say, Mamie, whatever food is left over, you can take it home to those children that you've taken in. She kept her children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that they kept. And I remember walking around these big, beautiful mansions, saying, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. How many of you have someone that's important to you that you'd like to do something for? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I'm gonna share with you how you can make that happen. And that was not easy for me, given my circumstances, given where I was born at the time. It was very challenging. The government and all kind of policies were designed to prevent people like me from achieving goals and dreams. And so given my beginning, as Wesley and I were holding sugarcane. How many of you ever had sugarcane? Raise your hands, please. Yeah. I remember doing a tour with 45, and he was lamenting because his father only gave him $14 million for his dream. How many of you, $14 million would have been your dream? My Bob only gave us 2 pieces of sugar cane. And so I decided at a young age that I wanted to do something with my life. I remember talking with Isis, and she being born in the Dominican Republic, she said she had a dream of living a bigger life. She had a dream of living in a big city. She had a dream of taking her life to the next level. How many of you have that kind of dream? Raise your hands, please. Fantastic. And then she met this guy. And I want you to know, Christopher, Stevie Wonder could see she's fine. Let the record show. You married up, young man. Let the record show. But he's special too. She met this special guy who at that time had lost everything, who at that time was sleeping on his brother's couch, who at that time had lost his job. And this guy said, because he didn't want her to judge him according to where he was, he wanted her to see where he was going. And he said, listen, I'm the man. I am the man. I'm going to do some great things with my life. How many of you are going to do some great things with your life? Raise your hand. Repeat after me, please. I am going to do some great things with my life. I am God's millionaire. I am ready to go to the next level. Give yourselves a round of applause. So you're in the right place at the right time. You're affirming that. Don't ever say anything negative when you say I am. Never say I am broke. Just say I'm going through a cash flow problem. Okay? Never say I'm going through a bad time. Say I'm having a character building experience. Okay? Because that's a powerful statement. Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established unto you. And so I told my mother, I said, Mama. She said, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I am going to buy you a big, beautiful house just like this. And she said, Leslie, you don't have to do that. And I said, I know, Mama, but you didn't have to take us in. And you did. Judge a person not by what they do, but what they do that they don't have to do. So, some of you are here because there's someone special in your life that you want to do something for. Someone has been a blessing to you. Someone helped you when you couldn't help yourself. Someone who believed in you when you were struggling to believe in yourself. And so that became my why. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. If you have a compelling reason. Why is that important? Because when the tough times come, and they're going to come, when you're in pursuit of a dream, and listen to me, this is my 75th year on the planet. I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. When you're in pursuit of a dream, things happen that you cannot anticipate. Forrest Gump had a point. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Things are going to happen to you, and things are going to happen to people that you care about. I remember when a doctor said 3 words to me that no one ever wants to hear. 3 words that's most feared words in 7 different languages. You have cancer. I said, can you give me a second opinion? Yes, and you're ugly too. No, I'm sorry. I've got issues. And it caught me on the blind side. How many ever been caught on the blind side? Something happened to you and you didn't see it coming. But I stand on this stage 27 years later because of God's grace and mercy. And trust me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed. And you feel a brother up in here, up in here. And so I want you to think about that goal and dream that you want to achieve for someone special in your life. And I want you to repeat out to me, please. Let us say together, I'm going to do that. I am going to do that. Say that, please. I am going to do that. Now I want you to think about your financial freedom number. And whatever that number is, I want you to expand it. I found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and missed. Most people fail in life because they did what I did for a long period in my life. Aim too low and hit. I want you to think about your financial freedom number. And as you think about it, I want you to increase it dramatically. And don't ask yourself how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. Lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. That's God's business. I want you to commit yourself to do it. Let us say together, I am going to create wealth. I am in the process right now. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, you were born rich. Do that right now.
You were born rich.
And so, I was determined to buy my mother a home. And I had a lot of setbacks. Things happened to me that I never saw coming. When I was in the 5th grade, I was labeled educable, mentally retarded. Put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. Failed again when I was in the 8th grade. I have no college training. But I met a high school teacher that made a dramatic difference in my life. He's very much like Christopher. He said, young man, go before the room and work this problem out for me. I want you to read this script. I said, sir, I can't do that. I said, why not? I'm not going to be a student. Look at me, yes, sir. Go to the board anyhow and do what I'm asking you to do. And I said, I can't, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. What's DT? He's the dumb twin. And everybody erupted in laughter. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk. He looked at me, he said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And in that moment, he created an interruption. Let us say together, interruption.
Interruption.
Everybody together, interruption.
Interruption.
How people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves that's been given to them by life. And you are a messenger of hope. You, when you speak, you, when you present, you, when you are in their presence, you interrupt their story. Let us say together, distract, dispute, inspire. See, people have been trained to seek jobs, but things have changed. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can get a job and work for 40 years and retire in 40 years for what was not enough in the first place. It was 40% of what they give you from your paycheck. The economy has changed. According to the Department of Labor, over 20,000 people will lose their jobs every month. In the last 48 hours, some of the major stores in this country have closed. By your being here, and because of the commitment that Christopher and Isis have of developing you and helping you to develop your mindset and developing your skill set. And the reason the tables are round, so that you can create collaborative, achievement-driven relationships that will educate you on how you can master your personal economy, that will educate you and how you can become in charge of your destiny. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he said there's something in each and every one of us that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have or hear. And if you cannot hear it all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. I submit to you that you are here today, that you said yes to this opportunity, because you said, I'm not going to allow anybody to pull my strings. Give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. Bring it up, bring it up. My brother and I, born in poverty, who would have thought that one of us, because of the principles that ISIS and because of the example of Christopher and what they've put together, developing people's minds, giving them a vision of themselves beyond their mental conditioning in certain senses, who would have thought that one of those kids would become one of the top 5 speakers in the world? Let me share something with you. Now, I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You have greatness in you. Here's what I know about you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Here is what I know about you. That because you are part of this culture, because you're part of this company, you're going to do things that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. Give yourselves a round of applause. How many of you have children? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Those are some of my children. I'm filing a class action suit against the people who came up with the concept of the rhythm method. It doesn't work. Millenniums don't know about that. Yeah, it doesn't work. I have 5 boys and 5 girls. They say be fruitful and multiply. I took them seriously. I'll smile at you when you get pregnant, you know. How many want to build a legacy? Raise your hands, please. Yes. Legacy is the name of the game. And so this is my legacy. A good man leaves a legacy for his children and for his children's children. And so as you think about your goals and dreams, what's your story? I started out with just my story. When you introduce yourself to people, they want to know what your story is so they can develop a level of connection with you. We're going to be sending you 7 principles of storytelling and examples on how you can tell your story succinctly that will increase your recruitment and increase your ability to establish instant credibility and make an impact on people as we are growing and multiplying efforts to become a multi-billion-dollar business. Give yourselves a round of applause. Gap, JCPenney, Victoria's Secret, Foot Locker. In the last 48 hours, 465 stores have closed. These are major brands. This is your time. You have the opportunity when you leave here to help people to get an opportunity to live their dreams rather than their fears. This is your time. Every time the unemployment goes up 1%, 10,000 women are battered. This is your time. You have an instrument to say to people, you don't have to be a part of the journey of the broke. I've got something for you if you're coachable. I've got something for you if you're ready to create wealth. I've got something for you that will transform your life. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is your time. This is your time. Become an expert. Let us say together, I'm becoming an expert. I am an expert. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. How many of you are hungry? Raise your hands, please. I never forget, Mr. Washington said, Mr. Brown, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, sir, I want to take care of my mother. I want to buy her a home, just like some of you want to do that. And he said, well, very good. He said, here's what I'm going to do. And he gave me a series of motivational recordings to listen to. And I said, why are you giving me this? He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And so what we're going to be doing is sending to you a variety of motivational messages for the purpose of recoding your mind. Be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And in addition to that, and it's not going to cost you anything, Before you talk to someone, I want you to use this technique. One time I built an organization over 100,000 people. Now, I got this from Earl Nightingale. I want you to send one with me and Eric Thomas. Just send it to them. Say, I'm coming to talk to you. But let them listen to this first. Why? Because it will open up their minds first. Most people suffer from possibility blindness. This is a business that you've got to be patient. This is a business that you've got to be willing to learn. This is a business that you've got to be willing to unlearn and relearn and challenge yourself. Because it will work if you work it. Let us say together, please. It works. If you work it. So he said, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, I want to become a disc jockey. He said, develop your mind. Why is that important? Because it takes a lot of mental resolve to make any dream become a reality. How many of you know that to be true? Raise your hands, please. Yes. 90% of businesses fail because most people don't have the mental strength to continue to move forward and come back again and again and again, as Christopher did. There he was, sleeping on his brother's couch, and he said to ISIS, I'm the man. Why? He was judging not according to appearances. He was not looking at where he was. He was looking at where he was going. Can you see it? Can you see your dream fulfilled? The Book of Life says, I'll give you all your eyes can see. Can you see yourself living your dream now? It's very important that you do that. That's how I was able to buy 4 different homes for my mother. And so as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, holding the vision every day, because you're going to face rejections. Holding the vision every day. A lot of people won't do this because it requires work. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So what I want you to do is email me. I am hungry, lesbrown@gmail.com. We're going to send you a series of motivational videos to listen to on a regular basis. A series that will keep that hunger alive. Let us say together, I am hungry, Les Brown. Say it like you mean it, everybody together. I am hungry, Les Brown. Mr. Washington said, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, sir, I told you I want to buy my mother a home. He said, all right, very good. How you plan to do that? I want to become a disc jockey. He says, good. He said, you got to be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry, whatever goal they're pursuing, it's a non-negotiable. People that are hungry know you will fail your way to success. People that are hungry know it's lonely at the top, but you eat better. People that are hungry will come back again and again and again. And I said, sir, all my life people compared me to my brother and my sister who graduated from the University of Miami because I'm slower than most people. All my life. Only person that ever believed in me was my mother. And I'm hungry to do something with my life. I'm hungry to make her proud of me. How many of you have somebody you want to make proud? Raise your hands, please. Yes, yes. And so he said, here's my card. Let us say together, relationship capital. Relationship capital. One of the things that's very important is developing relationships with people. Thank you. And you're going to find many that you can learn from. People that you can grow from. And you're going to find that. I think about China. I'm so thankful to her for introducing me to this opportunity. Give China a round of applause. Come on, bring it up.
Yes, sir.
She was like Mary by the well. I met a man. I said, is that right? You need to know him. I said, is that right? And I was so glad that she introduced me. Now, somebody said, why would you want to do this? I tell you why. Life is about growing. Just because I'm 75, I mean, I'm going to be sitting at home looking at television. Life is about growing. It's about using your mind. I think the reason that dementia and Alzheimer's is running rapid because most people stop growing. Most people are spectators. You are here because you want to be a player. Give yourselves a round of applause. You want to be involved in the game of life. You don't want to be a spectator. So I told him I was determined to take care of my mother. He gave me his card. Say relationship capital. The relationships you develop here and when you leave here will be very, very important for you. Why? Because these are collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Most people have entertainment-driven relationships because we have an entertainment-driven culture. And so he said, go see Milton Butterball Smith and tell him I told you to come. I went to see Mr. Butterball at Milton Butterball, a WMBM radio station on Miami Beach. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. Young man, do you have an experience? No, sir, I don't. Have any background at all in broadcasting? No, sir, I don't. But let me audition for you, sir. Let me show you how good I am. Just give me a shot. And he said, no. How many have been rejected? Raise your hands, please. You will face a lot of rejections. Know you're a vitamin. There are a lot of people who say, oh, this is some kind of pyramid scheme, some kind of get-rich scheme. Don't argue with them. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. This is not for people who need more money. This is for people who want more money. People who are hungry. Say to me right now, I am hungry, Les Brown.
I am hungry, Les Brown.
Say it again, I am hungry, Les Brown.
I am hungry, Les Brown.
And you're going to make it happen, those of you that said it. Everybody didn't say it. Some of you know who you truly are. And you're hungry. I was hungry.
Yes.
And so he said, no. I went back. I said, Mr. Washington. He said, no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I said, I am hungry, Mr. Washington. I went back again. Hello, how are you, Mr. Butterball? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir, you did. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired. No one was laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud and talking to myself. I am hungry. I am hungry. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I'm hungry. I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. He said, no one got sick or died. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. He looked at me with rage. He says, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. When you are hungry, you may know your vitamin. Affirm to yourself every day. When the negative thoughts creep in, I am hungry. I don't have time to be negative. When you have defeats and disappointments and setbacks, say to yourself every day, I am hungry. I have a bigger life that I'm supposed to live. I deserve more. I am hungry. I'm not willing to settle for where I am. I am hungry. And so I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd stand in the control room, watching them work the control board, knowing my time will come. Let us say together, my time will come. I am on my way to chairman. My time will come. Do that right now. I am on my way to chairman. My time will come. And so they would have me to go get their lunch and their dinner. And one weekend, you know, they came outside and their cars were cleaned and waxed. And they said, wow, who did this? I said, I did. He said, here are my car keys. Dinah Ross and the Supremes are coming to town. Four Tops and the Temptations. I want you to pick them up and take them to the Fontainebleau Hotel. I said, it'd be my pleasure to serve you, sir. I was driving them all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys' big long Cadillacs. Didn't have any driver's license, but I was driving like a handsome. Then one day, it was a Saturday afternoon, disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. Rockin' Roger got so drunk, he could not complete the show. I was the only one there, looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have gone and get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager and answered the phone. I said, oh? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, he must be thinking I'm crazy, Dr. Spiller. I called my mama and my girlfriend, told them come out on the front porch and turn on the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I called him back and said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records. Don't you say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get out there. I put on a fast record and said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and England, love to mingle, certified, bona fide, duly qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I will love me. I was hungry. I was hungry. I was hungry. You gotta be hungry. Thank you. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do. That's right. In order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry, they do what they know, not what they feel. People that are hungry are relentless and unstoppable, and no excuse is acceptable for them not living to their dream, not learning all that they can to master this technology. There's a song I heard. How many love music? Raise your hands, please. My business partner, Celeste Johnson, has a song that I love very much. Because what it talks about is live every day. How many of you know one of the major dream killers is procrastination? Raise your hands. I remember when I was in Vegas and I heard Frank Sinatra say, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. When you don't wait till you leave here, you go to your room, start calling people. We're not going to wait 2 or 3 years to become a multi-billion-dollar company. We're going to move with a sense of urgency because we can, because we have something that people need right here, right now. Celeste Johnson, give her a round of applause.
presence quite all the time, actually. But we were playing around one day and I was singing the song, and he says, "Oh, I love that song. I want you to sing it on the platform." So it is in honor of you, Les. I honor you and all that you have done, all the lives you've touched. And so for this time, I've sang it before, but this time, it's especially for you. If we could start the music. Hey, China. Dream, gotta keep dreaming. When your problems get you down, don't you drown in reality. Oh, live, gotta keep living. Keep your eye on a star, no matter how far it seems. Live every day of your life, make it turn out right. Gotta keep moving on. You got to be strong. Live every day of your life. Keep your goals in sight, 'cause you're gonna make it big if you live every day. Oh, that's my part. Oh, look, look to the future, for it's the things you do today that shapes your tomorrow. And you make it happen. Yes, you do. If you give yourself a chance, I know you can't go wrong. No, just live every day of your life. Make it turn out right. Gotta keep moving on. You got to be strong. Live every day of your life. Yeah. Oh, you got to live every day of your life. One more time. Live every day of your life. Keep your goals in sight, 'cause you're gonna make it big if you live every day. Just live every day.
Continue music. Isis, Christopher, please come up. Continue music. I want the two of you please come up. Continue the music, please. I want to everybody be seated right now. What I want you to do, I want you to hold hands around your table, people near you. I believe that these two people came together with a God moment.
All right now.
And the idea and the dream they had at this point in history is needed now more than ever. Our goal is to train you to become messengers of hope. People need hope, and they need a method in how they can transform their lives. When there's hope in the future that gives you power in the present, the thousands of jobs, the 20,000 people every month are losing their jobs. You give them hope. I have to pray for you so often. Everybody, hold your hands toward them, please. Let us say together, we thank you, for answering the call in your life, to help others learn what you know, to give people hope, to give people a way that they can control their own future. We share your dream. We share your commitment. Now let us have prayer. Father, we thank you so much for Christopher and for Isis and the whole team and the people that's in this room. You said in your word, I'll give you all your eyes can see. And they said yes because they can see it. You said in your word, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. And many of us said yes and don't know what we're doing, but we are committed to work and to learn and to master this opportunity. And so we thank you, people who are going through a challenge right now. People who are here who couldn't afford to be here, but they knew they couldn't afford not to be here. That this is a calling to come up higher. This is a calling to spread the hope and the love and the wealth. This is a calling to build a legacy and leave the world better than how we found it. We thank you so much for your anointment on Isis and Christopher and the people that are here, and for all the good that will be impacted on the world at this point in time that we need so desperately. Give us the strength to stay the course, the courage, courage not to give up in spite of what we go through. It's okay. Some things happen to you and some things happen for you. And we know with you all things are possible. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The Spirit of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We thank you, Father. We thank you, Father. And so it is. Thank you. Hello? I want you to put your hand over your heart. And I want to dedicate this to you. My mother used to love me to hear say this because Mama was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. She never had any children, but she wanted to share her life with children. Whenever I speak, I can always feel the presence. I'd like to dedicate this to you as you feel that heartbeat. You were chosen. 1 out of 400 million sperm. Feel that heartbeat. You're a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. You're here to do something. Leslie? Yes, ma'am, Mama? Say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. Yes, ma'am. And I dedicate this to you. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it, for all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. And if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold poverty, famine shall go, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want. If dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, and with the help of God, you'll get it. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and Christopher and Isis' pride and joy. God bless you. God bless your dream. God bless you. God bless your dream. Live every day.
Please welcome Chairman 500 Matt Rosa and Chairman 100 Gary McSween.